a lot of the work that Ken Leithwood's been doing here, Vivian Robinson's been doing, Ken Rowe is doing, is making, like, I know it's a simplistic contrast to say there are two kinds of leaders. It's not. There's many more, but it kind of works. And they looked at the transformational leader that came out of the business work in the 1960s and 70s from the big commercial companies about having principals lead schools around a common vision. Getting every teacher onto the same page, the kids on the same page about what this vision is, obviously aspirational, making sure you create time and space for teachers to realise that vision. Contrasted with what is called the instructional leader, where your job is to worry about the impact that the adults are having on the kids in that school. That often means looking at the test scores. It means going beyond that and creating discussions and having professional development sessions about how do we know we're having an impact? Is the impact good enough? And when you look at Vivian Robinson's meta-analysis on this, it's chalk and cheese difference in terms of the impact on kids. Yes, transformational learning, principalship, has about a 0.15 effect. It's positive. But it's almost criminal relative to the 0.6 effect that instructional leaders have. And then when I go to the next step, and in Australia, and I've done now, it's been done in New South Wales, is what percentage of principals and leaders are of those two kinds. The instructional one, about 5 to 10%. Now, I have a hunch in Ontario, you have been through sufficient change that you have a lot higher percentage of instructional leaders. Now, I know the difference between two is not the answer, but it's not a bad polarity. Like distributed leadership, it's not in there compared to the power of the instructional. And again, it comes back to the mind frames notion, the mindsets. What mindset do you want the principal to have? Is it about what is the impact that the people in the school are having? Like in a high school, you'd want to devolve that and distribute it. But you want constantly to ask that question. Are we having an impact? Is it worthwhile? Is it sufficient? That's a lot harder than having a discussion, are we having the same vision? Have you got the right resources? So I think that instructional leadership is a very powerful notion, and that's certainly one that I care about the most.